All right, so we are looking at a multi-step equation word problem. Step one, we're going to read the problem. It says the student council raised 2/5 of the money they needed to cover the cost of a school dance at the bake sale. They raised an additional $150 selling raffle tickets. If the student council has raised $630, what is the cost of the dance? Our next step is we're going to look at the last sentence, or second to last in this case, and figure out what do they want. Well, they want to know the cost of the dance. So what they're looking for, that's our variable. So I'm going to say x equals cost of dance. Now we're going to go back in and underline any important numbers, any phrases that might tell us math going on. So for instance, 2/5 of the money, additional 150, and the fact that they raised 630. So this one's a little tricky. Here's how I would think about it. If they raise 630, that means that their total, what they have so far, is 630. The phrase of is multiplication. So this is saying 2/5 times x. So 2/5 of how much they needed to raise, and then they raised an additional. The word additional tells us that it's going to be add. Once we've put our equation together using all the numbers we underline, we're just going to solve. And yeah, this one could be tricky. We're going to subtract 150 from both sides. That first step's always easy, even if you have that nasty fraction there. We have 2/5 x equals 480. Now, got to remember, when you are multiplying by a fraction and you need to get rid of it, you're going to multiply by the fraction flipped. You do that because 5 times 2 is 10, and 2 times 5 is 10. 10 divided by 10 gives us a nice 1. And then, I'm not going to lie, I'm looking at my answer key for this one, but you would do 480 times 5 divided by 2. And you would get 1,200. Now, there is one last thing. You have to say the cost of the dance is $1,200. They'll give you a sentence. They gave you a paragraph, you got to give me a sentence. So, I read the problem. I looked at what they were asking for. I made that my variable. I underlined all the important numbers in the word problem, and then I tried to put them together in an equation. Once I make the equation, I solve like I would usually, and then I figure out what the answer, I look at what I made my variable, and I make that into a sentence explaining my answer.